Hello and welcome to the Text4Resistance team training. My name is Dylan Easterday. I will be leading you through, and this is a recording that you can go back and reference whenever you need to. But this will lead you through the basic orientation of how to get started with the Text4Resistance volunteer team with resisthere.org and Working Families. First of all, I'm going to go through a little bit of a document, and then I'm going to show, as part of this training, the tool that we use, which is called Relay. So just really quick, I'm going to run through the agenda for this orientation. Number one, I'm going to go over a little bit of our principles. I'm going to describe our team structure. Then I'm going to describe some of the ways that we communicate and we help to delegate and assign roles within the team. Then I'm going to cover the tool that we use, which is called Relay. That's the texting peer-to-peer tool. And finally, I'm going to go over some do's and don'ts and some ways to jump right in and get started. So first of all, our principles. Number one, we are a project of Working Families. We are a progressive group and a political party in many states across the United States. We're consistently growing, but our work entirely depends upon people like you contributing, acting, and resisting. We were obviously motivated right after the last election, the election of Donald Trump as the president, but we view this administration and all of its moves since that election day to be illegitimate, that this is a hateful and really distasteful administration, and something that we need to collectively fight against. So since his administration, Donald Trump's policies are against every value that we hold. Bottom line, he's put corporations and billionaires over people. And whether it's through his budget cuts, whether it's through his newly released budget at the time of this recording, or Trump Care, that would drop by some estimates 24 million people off of health care. Obviously things that, as a group that upholds and fights for an economy that works for everyone, these are policies that we strongly protest and fight against. But we don't want to just be about what we are against. We want to be, for real policies that work and support working people. That's why instead of an infrastructure plan that's a giveaway to Wall Street and corporate billionaires, we are fighting for the Millions of Jobs resolution. That's Resolution 63 that lays out an expansive plan that creates millions of jobs and puts 21st century public investment first, and advances economic equity for historically disenfranchised Americans and protects the environment. Those are the stated and included protections and policies of the Millions of Jobs resolution. If you are not familiar with it, I do encourage you to look it up and share information about that resolution with your network too. We're also calling for a morally responsible budget. Cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, cuts to essential services. This for us is a moral question, and we view cuts like that as immoral. For us, we're calling for a federal budget where our leaders vote is a moral choice, that residents, all U.S. residents, to live a life of equality, opportunity, and safety, and standing up to the hateful world of Trump. We're also calling for all business as usual to stop until there is an established and independent commission, not behind closed door hearings, but something that the public is actually has access to really discover the truth about Trump and his administration or his campaign's potential collusion with Russia to damage our democratic process. So that said, assuming that you are all with us and stand with us in principles, I want to tell you a little bit more about our team. I should say first, if you ever want to read more, you can always go to our website, which is resisthere.org, and we also have some more information within this document, which will be shared via a link. So to talk a little bit about our team structure, the Text4Resistance team is in a intentional community of volunteers. We work directly with working families and with resisthere.org, but also have worked with allies and coalitions. We're consistently looking to partner with local groups, organizations, or your local club that's standing up. If you're fighting for these values and fighting against this administration, then we're interested in talking to you. To get started, to request support from our text team, we've created a simple form which you can preview here. But this support form essentially allows anyone that has an event or an action happening within their community to ask for help from our text team. Right now we're about 130 strong, and we're continuing to grow, and we're always looking for organizers, talented folks, and action-oriented people that have a passion for communicating and helping build the resistance and helping to mobilize, help with rapid mobilization when it comes to actions around the country. So you can see more in the link that will be shared, and you can share this with some of the resistance groups that you work with. Our team structure is built up of regional leaders, a steering committee, and a texter group. So starting first with the steering committee really works to expand our project, think about overall strategy and some of our tactics. Regional leaders are a group of people that are trained and spending a little bit more time, typically about 3 hours a week, volunteering on the Text4Resistance program. And they're trained and ready to set up campaigns, help coordinate, and also able to communicate directly with texters within the group to help answer questions or get essential information out to texters in their area or that are focused on a specific project that they are leading. So if you want more information about being a regional leader, you can always reach out to me, and I suggest that you sign up after this for our Slack channel, and you can also send an email to the email address resisthertexters@workingfamilies.org to request more information. But the texters group itself are the folks that are that you are joining. These are the most essential clutch of folks that are doing the direct organizing work, fighting and communicating on the actions and issues that we're sending out messages regarding. So texters, I'll explain a little bit more when we get into the relay, but they are sending initial messages regarding an action, urging people to sign up, attend a rally near them, make a phone call, or get involved in some way with the resistance. So they are the vanguard in really organizing and mobilizing and motivating, really. We keep it to a structure where either I or regional leaders across the country help set up these campaigns and help answer questions as they come up. Sometimes we are coordinating national campaigns. Sometimes they're a little bit more focused in an area like Carson City, Nevada, or Portland, Oregon, or Brooklyn, New York. Also, there is a review process for any campaign's support that is requested. Just to mention, we want to make sure that the campaigns that we're supporting do fit with our overall values. And then we do offer consistent communication, and we like to keep to a schedule of regular check-ins with some of the leaders of our group. But of course, if you're joining this team, it shouldn't feel like this is a real huge commitment of your time. A lot of people spend an hour a week at most, and still make a very, very valuable contribution to the team by texting people near them on essential actions. I'll run through this quickly, but as I just mentioned, when a group or a coalition or an activist requests support, they fill out the form. That goes in for approval, and then again, text leaders help set that up, send it out to local groups of texters, and then texters send out messages and respond to questions with some predefined responses, and can send out details via links that are also shared. So now I'm going to cover a little bit of information about the relay tool itself. So first of all, if you are joining this team and have filled out our volunteer form and you haven't, and you indicated that you were interested in the Text4Resistance team, you should have received an email inviting you to join the relay team. If you haven't, please email me at the address here. And now I'm going to demonstrate some of the features of the messenger application called Relay. So just follow along and you should be able to see how this all works. We're going to run a sample campaign in real time, so you'll be able to see what this looks like as you're sending it out. So when you accept the invitation and you join the Relay team, that is the tool that we use for the Text4Resistance group, this is the first page that you'll see once you sign in. This is your assignments page. So when campaigns are set up by regional leaders, those assignments end up going out to texters that indicate that they're available and ready to jump onto a campaign. The way that you indicate you're available is you respond to the email notifying you of a new campaign that needs support, or a new action that needs support, and or you can also communicate via the Slack channel. So as part of this, you'll also receive the link to join the Slack channel for this team. Right now we're going to use the campaign. We're going to jump into the orientation test campaign. And this is the first screen that you'll see when you first jump into a campaign. I'm going to go over all the different parts of it, but you can follow along here, and I'll also send some additional details if you need it, if you email me, that can describe this page a little bit more. But it's fairly simple. On the left-hand side, you have this column, which is your contacts column. It shows all the people that you're going to be sending messages to, or that you already have sent messages to them if you're already engaged in the campaign. I can also search using this bar for someone specific. Now we're using test names here, but I can search for a specific person to talk to by using that search bar. In the middle, this is your message pane. Right now, it's just telling me to introduce myself because I haven't sent any messages to this group of contacts. And on the right-hand side, this is where our results will be. So you'll be able to see those in real time, and this is where you'll actually answer questions about the conversations as you're engaged in them. So the first thing to do when you jump into a campaign is you'll see the initial message that we're going to be sending out as part of this campaign down in the message box. And that's already filled out for you. You don't need to type anything in. When a campaign is set up, that's already defined. So all I need to do to get started is just hit the send button. Now for this campaign I only have 2 people to send messages to. So I've done that, and that's it. But if you have a group that could be up to 200, 400, 800 people, the great thing about this tool is that you can send those messages really quickly. All you have to do is just keep hitting that send button. It's not just a one-time thing where you hit send and it sends it out to everyone. That's an important distinction because this is not a mass texting tool. It's a peer-to-peer tool. So that means that you know that as you're communicating with individual humans, they're communicating back to you, also a human. And that means that real conversations can happen that way. So often when you get done with a campaign, there may be a brief pause, as we're seeing here, where we don't see any responses back yet. But once we get responses, we'll see those in this pane. Now, there are a couple of things that I can show you in another campaign while we're waiting for some responses. For example, a previous campaign that we went through, don't worry that about privacy, because when you're sending out a message, I should mention, your phone number is not used. It is a campaign phone number that people receive text messages from. So that way it's masked and you're protected, but also the people that you're texting are protected. You can see their name, but you're not going to see their phone number or anything else. Now, during the course of this campaign, once people respond, you'll see that in the message pane here. And you can send back a message just by typing in what you want to say into this bar and hitting send. Or what you can do is use saved replies. Now these are set up or scripted replies, but they're customized for individual people. So for example, I can fill out a customized reply to give a little bit more information on this campaign about Nevada working families. And I can send that out. I could also tell a little bit more about who we are, or respond if they can't make it at that time for the action. Also very important is, as the campaign is going on, texters are going to be recording responses. Often these are yes or no or very short survey sort of responses where we want to know basically, is this person going to attend the action? Are they going to call their legislator? Are they going to be taking action today in the way that we're asking? And so you can indicate that here. But oftentimes we'll also include a place to include notes. For example, I could include a note that they may be late, or they're bringing a friend, or they're sharing this action on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. So that way you can be consistently updating and taking some accurate notes on the conversation that you're having. Now you notice this is just one conversation, and on the left-hand side I can jump to another conversation if I want to. Now for this person, they are not able to attend this action, and this was a while ago. But what we can always do is make sure that these conversations have received some sort of reply. If we're done with a conversation and it's reached a point where there's no more reply necessary, we can archive it. That doesn't opt anybody out, that doesn't delete that conversation. What it does is it just hides that conversation unless you get another reply from that person. If that happens, then you'll see it come back up in your list of replies, and you'll see a little blue dot like this indicating that this is a reply that you can respond to. If we have a reply that you've already responded to, then you'll see it as in your list of contacts on the left, but you won't see the blue dot. Now, this is an example that's a good one to have. Very rarely, but occasionally on any one of our campaigns, some people ask to be removed from the list. That's absolutely fine, and we always honor that. Absolutely honor that. But the easy way to do that is by using the opt-out button. So now, when I click opt-out, I can send a message just indicating to the person that they are opted out of these messages. Now we'll go back and check our campaign. Oh, we've got a reply already. And I can just send a reply, a custom reply here. The idea is that we want to be driving people to really give a commitment to attend the action. What works with these tools is really helping people visualize the act itself, themselves taking action. So if you can help people, make a commitment or make a plan to come at a certain time and bring, a friend with them, then it helps make sure that that you're getting really good results and you're actually organizing. So we can wait for a response here. The other thing we can do, as I mentioned, is use some of these predefined responses. So if they want a little bit more information about who we are, we have that all ready to go. You can also create your own replies. So by going to Manage Saved Replies, I can use a campaign reply or set up one for any individual campaign. I could set up a specific reply for, say for example, can't make it this time. But keep me in the loop. You can also customize these with people's names by using the % symbols and the code first name or last name. And just hit save. So now I can go back and go to My Replies and use that. Those are the major features of the messaging app, Relay, that you can use. Now, a couple of common questions are, what do I do once I'm done sending the initial messages? What you want to do is just make sure that you can go back and check for more responses. So throughout the day, as long as you're available. You can always head to the Relay website that we'll share with on this training video. But you can also let us know that you're not available, and another organizer could then be reassigned your contacts so they can continue to follow up with them. So if you as a texter can't continue to communicate with your list, all you have to do is send a message to the text group via email or on the Slack channel, and we can reassign those messages. Another common question is this an application, a mobile application for your smartphone? It is not a native mobile application, but every smartphone that has a browser can access it. You can open your browser application and just type in the address that's on the screen, and that will take you to your individual assignments once you've signed in. Great. And then what happens after a campaign is what we do on the team is we just analyze the results, and we like to share those back out to the team to be able to give you an idea of how you're making an impact. So with that, I'm just going to go over a little bit of our do's and don'ts. So number one, do respond honestly. As a texter, if you don't know the answer to a question, don't make something up. All you have to do is let the person know you'll try to find an answer, and then we provide multiple ways to be able to get information about the campaign. You can reach out to your fellow texters. You can reach out to the text team regional leaders, or you can communicate on the Slack channel. We're all most of us are pretty active on that channel. Do be prompt with responses. Do be polite. Do be accurate. We all want to be specific and accurate as possible. And this is an important one. Do remember that you're really, acting as an organizer here. Being a volunteer organizer is really an important position, and you're making a big difference. So remember to motivate, to activate, and encourage. A lot of times people that we're talking to are feeling very frustrated that they want to be involved but don't know exactly what they can do. So by giving them that information, you're really giving them a lot. And a lot of times people really communicate that appreciation. So remember and definitely be encouraging. Some don'ts. So don't argue. The number one rule of the internet is don't feed the trolls, and this goes for text messages too. Occasionally, it's very rare, but occasionally someone that is not on board with our campaign or our action, or may not support our policies or our platform. If that's the case, you don't need to argue with them. You can just move on to the next person. It doesn't help to waste your time with people that don't agree. We're out here and getting people involved that want to be involved and want to take action. This should go without saying, but definitely no insults, no hate speech, no vitriol. That's absolutely is everything that we stand against. So that will not be accepted. And definitely we always reserve the right to be able to remove anyone from the team that is engaging in speech like that. This one is don't text before 9 a.m. and after 9 p.m. in your local time. That's important, but it's also something that you don't have to worry too much about. It's enforced by the Relay tool, so that means that Relay won't let you text during the early morning or evening or late evening, and that's to make sure that we're 100% compliant all the time with local regulations about communication, and just plain being respectful of people's personal space and time. And definitely, this is a huge one. Don't forget that your participation has a big impact. Already this team has done some amazing things, turned out to local actions across the country, was a big part of turning out to the DC sit-ins to fight against Trump Care and help win win a reprieve from that terrible bill. We've been a part of direct actions. We've been a part of civil disobedience. We've been a part of all sorts of resistance movement pieces, and we can continue to do a lot more. So remember, what you're doing on an individual basis with your conversations and as a group is making a really big impact. So with that, I want to thank you for watching this orientation video and want to welcome you to the team. I personally am really excited to have you as a part of the team, and we'll definitely be talking and communicating more, and definitely we're all in it together. So I just want to thank you for fighting with us.